Finishing up turns 19 and 20. The missionary during turn 19 got lost in that jungle hex. Luckily, he was still fed by the friendly tribe. In the following turn, he was able to exit, but now he's in more jungle terrain, so he's going to have a hard time getting to that discovery counter. Meanwhile, the botanist, the one remaining ill there, passed away while being carried into this veldt terrain. During turn 20, he partially discovered some swamp. He decided he doesn't want to enter the swamp on foot. He's going to change direction. The journalist is having an okay time. He discovered some jungle terrain, the river passing through it. He entered mountain terrain, and in the mountains he discovered some diamonds. That's a +2 to his portage cost if he wants to bring it back to Europe, I think. So he's actually having a pretty good time on his journey. The river, however, curves back in direction 3, so he's not going to follow that any longer. He's on his way to Khartoum to make an epic journey from Cape Town to Khartoum. Entering turn 22 now. The disaster for the missionary reads, 4 Askaris and 4 bearers are sick after eating some fruit they picked in the jungle. Botanist will avoid this disaster. Doctor prevents sickness of each on a die roll of 1. 4 of each. Alright, so that means he's stuck where he is. And so we'll enter the hunting phase. I should note that when members of your expedition are sick, they no longer can fulfill their duties. So he technically, 4 of his 6 Askaris are ill, meaning he's hunting with the company of 2. So what we get is, we roll a 1 in the jungle. That's 3 rations of food, 17 of which will be, of the food consumed this turn will be non-perishable. Now we're rolling on the recovery table. We'll roll for the 4 bears first. Oh man, 3 die, 1 recovers. That brings it down to a 10. He's still able to carry everything that he has. And now the 4 Askaris. Whoa. 2 die, and 2 are improving. Okay. Moving on to the botanist's turn. You can see that he partially discovered some desert here. So he's probably, let's see, going to go in this direction. Normally, no disaster. Rolling to see if we get lost, exiting the veldt. Greater than a 2 is needed. He rolls a 4. The terrain there is a 3-2 lake, meaning mountain. Kind of lucked out there. A river begins and runs. Let's see. River runs in direction 6. And there are no natives. Hunting in the mountain by the river. Let's call him 7. Rolls a 5, enough food there. Any bonus discoveries? B. Ooh, finally. Okay, he discovers Delphinium macrocentron if in mountain. Okay, so that is a house and garden plant, a popular flowering plant that looks kind of like this. Okay, so that's got a portage cost of 2. He'll want to bring that back to Europe and report his findings. The journalist discovers a tribe, a small tribe, which he approaches with policy 6, and is able to offer enough gifts to encourage the chief to be friendly toward his expedition. And so there he stays, and there he's fed by Tribe 50, an unnamed native tribe. moving into turn 23. The missionary ends up getting lost, which is what I expected. It's going to be tough for him to exit that jungle hex. Meanwhile, the botanist has another disaster occur. A flash flood sweeps down the narrow mountain valley in which you're camped, drowning half the men and animals. Just like that, he loses half of his expedition. He currently has 7 Ascaris and 13 bears. I'm going to assume you round up. That's at least what you do in most bureaus. This is pretty awful because now he's down to a total expedition of 10 members. Himself, 3 Ascaris and 6 bearers, so his transport capability drops to 60, which means that he's going to have to cache things here. He's carrying a total of 93. He's probably going to keep 8 gifts, 1 musket, his flour, and the remaining in rations. The botanist ends up running into more partially discovered swamp. He's going to continue along this way in the following turn. The botanist discovers another tribe, this time a medium-sized tribe, tribe 23, in this jungle mountain hex with the source, a lot going on. All 3 colors. A source of river running in the direction of Khartoum, which is good. He's able to befriend this tribe by offering 8 gifts, so he's now down to 4 gifts. If he runs into another tribe, he might have a little bit more difficulty befriending them. And we're entering turn 24. Very good news for our stubborn missionary. He stuck with it and finally was able to get out of that jungle, enter some mountain terrain where he found a source of river flowing in direction 4. Another step closer to that discovery counter, although now the chances are pretty slim that he'll find anything there. He's thinking of probably making an epic journey across the continent to the east coast, perhaps toward Mombasa. And did we get any, let's see, he keeps drawing this card, stop war between friendly tribe and neighboring tribe. Well, this time there are none. I forgot to hunt. He's in the mountains by the river, column 7. He rolls a 4, and that is enough food to feed his entire expedition. Back to the botanist. He did cache some of his food and gifts. He's going to be moving in direction 5 at a normal pace. And what's he in? Mountain. No disaster. Rolling to see if we get lost. Mountain, that's a lost value of 3. He rolls a 5. Terrain is 3, 5, desert. Oh boy, he is just not having any luck with the terrain out here. You should probably just get out of this area in general and start heading south or something. Or up and around Mombasa. Okay, so that's a partially discovered hex. He's hunting in the mountains. We get a 1. So that's nothing. He's going to have to consume rations. He's going to break into his cache. I think that's allowable. He hasn't moved out of that hex yet, so he's bringing that down to a 9. And moving on to our journalist's turn. He's going to follow this river in this direction. Okay, so we're moving cautiously. You were cheated by a sharp outfitter. Oh, again, 20 of your rations are inedible and must be discarded. 20. Well, he's having an easy time hunting. He's finding lots of rivers. 20 of his rations, that brings that down to 34. It's quite a lot for an 8-person expedition. 39. plus 2. He's carrying 41. He has a port transport capability of 100. And let's see what kind of terrain we're dealing with. 2-5 mountain. 2-5 mountain. Is it a spectacular discovery? No. The river continues in direction 5. That's this way. And he discovers natives. Quite a few natives in this area. They seem to kind of bunch together in this game. I mean, that's just by chance, but that's how it's been playing out. Okay, so that is... We're rolling on the 10 column, I think. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roll a 5. Ooh, it's a large tribe. Tribe number 33. A large tribe, our first large tribe. Uh-oh, he only has 4 gifts remaining. What is he gonna do? It's not looking good anymore. Native policies. We're gonna approach cautiously again. Using policy 6. We roll a 2. Oh, we have to roll. Okay, now we have to consult the native attack table, specifically the ambush table down here. Okay, so we're gonna add up the total of the number of Ascaris plus our explorer. That's a 5. So that's a 5 column, subcolumn L. Let's see what we got. I roll an 8. Uh-oh, consequences of defeat. Things were looking so good for him for such a long time, and all of a sudden we're looking at the consequences of defeat. The journalist does get extra victory points for being defeated by a native tribe, but that really is only going to count if he can make it out alive. On a roll of 2 or 3, he is killed. So let's go ahead and roll there. We roll a 6. The explorer escapes with just his musket. He loses all members of his expedition. He's going alone. And that means he can't bring with him any rations, any gifts, any of his horses. He loses everything. I gotta make some adjustments to my game log. Okay, so he's completely reliant upon his hunting skills and his musket. He's gonna hunt. Let's see, this is not a friendly tribe. But he was defeated. He's hunting in the mountains by the river. He rolls a 4, enough food there. Any bonuses? Tribe discovered are Zulus. So the Zulus were the ones that ambushed him. He will get points for being able to name tribes. Moving on to turn 25. Okay, so the missionary got lost. The botanist decided to go walk around all the swamp and desert terrain back into the mountains here and probably circle around it, avoiding it, up and around, making his way probably toward Calabar, Brass, down the river there, probably through the veldt and down the river. The explorer found, he's rushing to Khartoum at this point. He found a mountain, regular mountain. He hunted, and I suppose he should have stuck with the river, but he was unable to gather any food. He's now ill, so we're gonna roll on the recovery table. And I roll a 6. He dies. The journalist was doing so well, he would have won. He just flat out dies. He's out of the running. He was my only hope of making this playthrough not drag on too long. I'm perfectly fine playing through it, but with videos, I'm already taking up a bunch of time. I think I'm going to wave a white flag and say, we're gonna call it a game. I do enjoy the game. It's definitely one that I think is more painful filming than it is actually playing. It doesn't. It feels like the different players don't do very much interacting, which makes it an easy game to solitaire, but also not necessarily one that you would need to run multiple players to feel any more fulfilled. I think next time when I play this game, Solitaire, I will probably just go with one player and try to play campaign mode. Or compare scores between games, and it's not really so much about the victory points, it's really about the experience. If you're going to play with 2 or more explorers, I would recommend probably sharing that experience with other people.